Hello everyone, my name is T Hunter. For my first time viewers, welcome to my channel. For those who are returning, welcome back. There are so many videos that you can choose to watch and I just appreciate you making mine one of your selections for today. Okay, so I'm gonna jump right into today's topic. I want to talk about spring cleaning. Yes, I know it is fall. However, when I think of spring cleaning, I more so think of the deep cleaning, the decluttering that's necessary for me to be at peace in my living space. So I'll start with this example. The refrigerator, yeah, it's necessary. We cannot deep clean our entire house and neglect the refrigerator because that can be more harmful than good. Just because you cannot see that something in the refrigerator is rotting doesn't mean that it's not happening. So, strawberries are one of my favorite fruits. However, if I'm not inspecting the fruit very carefully when I'm going to the grocery store to buy some, there can be like that one or two pieces of fruit that are already starting to rot. And as a result, they're going to contaminate the rest of the bunch. It is what it is. It's going to happen. So that being said, they rot rather quickly. And if I wait too long, those 1 to 2 pieces of fruit will start to affect the entire bunch, as I said. So yet and still, because strawberries are my favorite fruit, sometimes I try to justify hanging on to them. How many times have we all faced this dilemma when it comes to holding on to people who may have been good to us in one season, but in our present season, they are no longer good for us? So going back to the example of the strawberries, sometimes I come up with these explanations of how I'm going to work around the rotting pieces of fruit. Okay, you know what? I'll just cut off these bad pieces to salvage the fruit. But then that means I'm left with pieces versus a whole strawberry. I want the whole fruit. That was the goal. But because it's starting to rot, now I'm left with making the decision of, are you going to eat the whole rotting fruit or are you going to try to salvage the good pieces? Yeah. So how many times have I mentally picked apart relationships in my life and I have tried to rationalize keeping them? Okay, they may be condescending, but they are generous. They may be rude, but they mean well. They may have a short fuse, but they haven't exploded on me yet. Keyword is yet. If you are hanging around people who are rude, condescending, they have a short fuse, whatever the issue is, eventually that issue is going to affect your relationship with them. Eventually, the way that they interact with people is going to be present in their interactions with you. So it doesn't matter if you were this person's best friend, their family member, a colleague. It doesn't matter what your relationship is to them. If that is a part of their character, it is going to affect you, whatever the it may be. So I wanted to make sure that I was using the right term when I said I have mentally picked apart people that I'm in relationship with and then tried to rationalize why am I hanging on to them. So I went ahead and looked up the word rationalize. In the dictionary, it says to rationalize is to create an excuse or a more attractive explanation for something. As someone who enjoys makeup, watching YouTube tutorials, sometimes people will have a way with words. The makeup guru that I may be watching for the day might have a very attractive explanation for why she's using a certain product. So the literal answer might just be, okay, I have a dark spot, so I'm going to color correct to make sure that that dark spot does not show up on my face when my makeup is done. However, we might see someone say something like, oh, and this product is going to just blur frown lines, or this product is going to give me a brightening effect, so I'm going to look more dewy once I've completed the final look. Now, both explanations are the same, but one is definitely more attractive. Do not fall into the trap of creating an attractive explanation for why you're holding on to toxic relationships. Because at the end of the day, they are still toxic, no matter how attractive their packaging may be. So, why remain in a friendship or in any type of relationship with someone who I cannot accept as a whole? If I'm not going to have the whole strawberry because it's rotting and I've decided to cut pieces from it, I don't have the whole strawberry. So if I have to pick apart a relationship and say, they're a gossip, or they have a short fuse, or they can be very condescending, or they can be rude. If it wasn't for those pieces, we may get along even better than we do now. But why would I want to remain in any type of relationship with someone who I cannot love and accept wholly? WHOLLY. Accept them as a whole. Accept them for who they are. Why? So, I want to take the good parts of them, but I'm in denial that those great parts of them are still being touched by the toxic parts. Yeah, makes no sense, right? I'm learning that now. So why hold on to someone who there are great parts to them, but there are some toxic and some rotting pieces that are not only damaging them, but they're damaging me and could be damaging other people? Simple explanation, I have a fear of letting go. I have a fear of people seeing me as harsh if I decide to disconnect from them. I have a fear of people seeing me as mean, seeing me as cruel, or regarding me as someone who doesn't care about other people's feelings if I decide, this relationship cannot go any further because of these toxic elements that are in it. And if I don't want to be contaminated, I need to step back. However, the Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians 5:6 that a little leaven, or as some translations say, a little yeast, will affect the entire loaf of bread. So if a little bit of yeast will cause a massive amount of dough, all of it to rise, what do you think a little bit of toxicity will do for you? A little bit of gossip here and there, a little bit of petty behavior, a little bit of being passive aggressive, a couple of explosions here and there, just totally losing your temper on people. What effect do you think that will have? Eventually, your toxic behavior that you've learned from someone else who you refuse to let go of is going to become very alienating. Yet and still, I have some good news. Just like I can go back to the grocery store and replenish my supply of strawberries, I can go to God and ask Him not only to remove the toxic relationships that I might have allowed to remain in my life for far too long, remove those, God, but also replenish them. Give me people who will motivate me to get closer to you. Place people in my life that will motivate me to learn a new skill. Place people in my life that will motivate me to be a more effective listener. God, place people in my life that will motivate me to really get into my word. As in God's word, the Bible. I'm sorry, it's not my word, it's God's word. But yes, place those types of people in my life. Place healthy people in my life so that I will see healthy communication habits, healthy eating habits, healthy exercising habits. Place healthy people around me so that, God, I can learn to be healthy too, in my spiritual as well as in my physical and my emotional health. And God will do that. Because according to Philippians 4:19, it says, "My God shall supply all your need according to His riches and glory by Jesus Christ." Let's face it, relationships, friendships, they can be difficult, but we need people. We need connections, and God knows that. He said in Genesis, it was not good for man to be alone, so He created a helpmeet. Now, I don't want to harp on marriage. It's great, absolutely, but we also need other relationships. We hear the cliches all of the time. No man is an island. I didn't get here on my own. So if that's true, then don't you think that relationships, great ones at that, are important to God? And don't you think that God values your health, whether it be your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, so much that He doesn't want to see you stay in any type of toxic relationship that's going to compromise that health? God cares about you, and he cares about your relationships. So when you are running up against that fear, as I sometimes do, of, okay, it looks like I might have to cut this relationship off. God, this makes me nervous. He has promised to be with you, and he has promised to give you the strength, give you the understanding as far as how to proceed. So God knows that we all need community, and he needs us to be in community that we're going to benefit from. He needs us to be in community where we can be world changers. We can be ambassadors for Christ. So, I don't know about you, but instead of looking at spring cleaning, instead of looking at the art of deep cleaning with fear and reluctance and hesitation, let's get excited about it, because when we do the deep cleaning, that's only going to make room for more great things. So don't just stop with one area in your life. Don't just deep clean your Facebook list of friends. Don't just deep clean your IG followers, the accounts that you're following. Extend the deep cleaning into your contact list. Maybe it means there are some people that you're not going to be able to call and text anymore. But I promise you, the greater good, your holistic health, your relationship with Christ, your impact on other people, and you're being able to have a positive influence on others is worth so much more than holding on to toxic relationships and holding on to the fear of what's going to happen if I do finally release them. That concludes today's discussion. Thank you so much for listening. Feel free to share this video with someone. Leave your feedback for me in the comments. Share your thoughts with me. I love to read them, love to read your comments every week. It's very encouraging for me. And yeah, feel free to like this video, subscribe to my channel, come back for more content. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your support. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.